I was gonna try and pronounce your name, and you told me how to do it, but I already forgot.
Laura
So
B
with
is
that,
more than okay.
I wanna thank you for joining my podcast. You're the first guest. I am so
Yeah.
happy that it's you. And the first question is, who is Laura?
Okay. So who is Laura? Laura is a young woman, very motivated and hardworking and confident that she can achieve anything she believes in. But behind those strong boards, it's a woman that spent over 10 years working in beauty and health industry.
Mm,
Someone that had her ups and downs during the 10 years or even more. I spent over 10 years working in the pharmacies, in a beauty salon, managing pharmacies. And last year, I was brave enough to fully leave my pharmacy job and focus on my business. So now Laura is a founder and a business owner and someone that is working really, really hard to make it a success.
yes, I can see that. Like, because I'm not very active on social media, but when I do go on Instagram, I see you're traveling to different pharmacies and you're always on the move. So I really admire that about you because I've known you for how long has it been now?
I
Has it
don't
been
know. I think over a year for sure.
over a year? Yeah, and I
Mhm.
still remember the first time I met you. I think you
Yeah,
were sitting, and I just joined and started talking. And what I loved is that, we really just hit it off immediately. And I think that's a testament of both of us that we are open enough to just have a conversation because, it can be quite scary when you step into a place and you don't know someone. So I'm very happy that I met you that day. The next question. So, for people who don't know what Lerelle Beauty is, can you give us a quick picture of what it is and also what drew you into the beauty space and what lights you up about it today?
yes, sure. So L'Oreal Beauty is a beauty brand that is focusing for giving women accessible beauty products that will help to enhance their natural beauty. Not extra fakeness and extensions and all the things that goes extra on top of us to make us feel confident, but it's more about nurturing women's natural beauty. So we are focusing on eyelash and eyebrow growth serums to help women to grow and um, strengthen their lashes and brows. Whether it's women that just had extensions and they decided that enough is enough and we want to look beautiful with our own natural lashes, or women that actually have health problems and they need that extra bit of love. There was a huge gap in the market in Ireland and still is up until my
Mhm.
product reaches the shelves. For accessible, affordable eyelash and eyebrow growth solutions for women. And as
Mhm.
someone that worked in that industry for a very long time, I made it my mission to make it accessible for every woman.
Mhm.
But on top of having the products that are online and sold in the pharmacies and beauty salons, my bigger focus is to also educate and empower other women. So L'Oreal Beauty is not just going to be a product, but it's also a story behind it. Laurel Beauty is a woman herself, a woman that
Mhm.
is very passionate, very open, and very eager to help and empower other women too. And I want to create a platform where women can be heard, where women can be celebrated, and women can
Mhm.
educate each other and learn something new themselves. So we are only step, small little steps towards where we want to be.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping to start doing more women empowering events in the near future and connect more women together. So that's what lights me up. It's the bigger picture and why am I doing what I'm doing. Growing business is definitely a hard thing to do. very challenging. But I really know my whys and I know why I do it and I know what motivates me and I know what will make me happy and why am I happy now. I'm just enjoying every single day, and every
Yes.
single process and learning and little fail and a lesson that comes along the way. I just enjoy
Mm-hmm.
every day. And
Yeah.
that's what lights me up really when it comes to business. You have to just enjoy the process.
That is so true because I think sometimes we get caught up in going through the motions and looking at the end goal and not even looking at the beautiful process that we're going through that will get us to the end goal. Even though the process can be challenging, I've been guilty of that as well, where I'm just so stuck in the getting stuff done and just making sure that everything is ready, that I forget to look at the beauty of what it is that I'm doing, and the why is so important. And
Yeah,
to be honest, my why is the reason that I am doing this and that I'm still on this path, because it is a challenge to be a coach, because in the coaching industry it is a saturated market. You really have to stand out and have like a particular niche or this unique thing that sets you apart from all the other coaches. And there was a point where I almost thought like, is this the right path for me? But when I thought about the why, and we have a similar why, which is women empowerment, I thought, no, this I cannot stop. I have to keep going to reach that goal at some point. So I love your mission and your bigger picture. What is one little thing that brought you joy this week?
oh, one little thing. Well, this week today is Wednesday.
Mm,
The last 2 days I've been traveling all over the country. I was in
okay.
County Kerry, I was in Cork. I did 900 kilometers almost in 2 days' time,
Wow.
traveling the car. But little joy that it bring me is that I'm doing it for my business. And I did
Mm,
it with my mom. My mom came and joined me on this trip, so I wasn't alone. I had time to spend with her and talk during those hours
yeah.
of drive. But I felt really grateful that I have this opportunity to travel the country, and it's for
Yeah.
business, from my own little business, from my
Yes.
own goals and bigger picture that I have in mind. So that was
Mm-hmm.
one thing that for sure brought me a lot of joy. Although I'm wrecked and very tired, I'm very happy at the same time.
Yeah, I saw the video of you and your mom, and I have to say, I've met your mom. Your mom is gorgeous. I was like, are you sure she's your mom and not your sister? And she was very
Thank you
sweet,
so
and I
much.
loved seeing that. I love seeing you and your mom on the road because, it does that quality time that you spend together. It really strengthens your bond even more. And I know that you and your mom are very close, so it was very beautiful to see you and your mom
Thank you
traveling.
very much. This is the challenging thing about being a business owner is that, you know, I always love to say balance is very important in life. And I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love balance. It has to be a bit of everything. But there are certain stages and times in life when balance is non existent because you do
Mm-hmm.
have to, no matter how much you want to balance it all out, some days you have to sacrifice a little bit more than other days for
Mm-hmm.
business or for something else. So the past couple of months for me, especially where I'm sacrificing the time with my family and friends to build my business. So
Mm-hmm.
every little moment I have that I can spend with my family or my close friends is
Yeah,
such an important thing for me. And I'm always very, very grateful.
yeah. And it's important when you have friends who understand that. That brings us to this topic of the grief of outgrowing friends.
Yeah.
What I want to ask first is, I just want to kind of give an explanation of how this podcast works. So I give a list
Sure.
of topics, and then the guests can choose a topic that they want to talk about. So I wanted to ask you, why did you choose this one particular topic?
I think it's because number one, we don't talk about this enough. Often the
Mm,
conversations are about fashion, business, beauty, whatever, but not really about the friendships. And it's something that maybe a few years ago I wouldn't have chosen to talk about, but it's
mm,
something that I have experienced and I have made some hard choices in the past year of my life.
mm-hmm,
Um, to change my circle and to change people that are in it. And that's why it just felt close to and something that I haven't spoken about yet.
Yeah, I love that because, well, we get to that later about my own experiences. But part of growing as a in a business means you're also growing as a person. So when you look back on the last few years, what shifts have you noticed in your inner circle? Because you was just talking about your inner circle. What shifts have you
Mhm.
noticed?
Well, the shifts I have noticed, first of all, my circle definitely got smaller.
Mm,
That's 100%. I also, there are some people that I think kind of turns away from you when you start to achieve certain goals. They just
mm-hmm,
feel threatened and they just
mm-hmm,
kind of slowly get away from it. Also, number two is maybe I'm not as attentive and I'm not giving as much of my time to party and go to places and to do things. So naturally,
mm-hmm,
people that I spend time, a lot of time going out and having fun activities, these people slowly go away from your inner circle because your
mm-hmm.
focus is different now, your life path is different. It's like when you get married and you start to have kids, people that have
Yes.
no kids will probably naturally will, be swapped
Yeah.
around with the people that
They
have time
fall
to
off.
participate. The same with business as well. And also I left pharmacy job, so a lot of my
Mm,
friends would have been my pharmacy colleagues, my people that I worked with,
yeah.
while I'm still in a relationship with them. And this recently we had a girl night out where all the girls from my previous pharmacy where I worked came over to my house.
Oh, that's nice.
Still, it's not as active anymore, and it takes extra bits of time and effort to put into it. So the circle really changed
Mm-hmm.
because my life changed completely too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it. When I look at my circle, because I've never been one to have like a lot of friends. I know
Yeah.
people, but just call people like my true friends, like I didn't have that many. But what I have noticed is after I was put on this path of coaching, self discovery, and developing myself and learning about myself. I have also, people have also dropped off, um, which I found very interesting because they weren't just people that I knew for like a year or 2 years. They were
Hmm.
people that I've known for like 10 years,
Okay.
which was interesting. How that occurred. So I love that you chose this topic because this is actually something that had kept me busy, especially last year. This year not anymore, but last year when I started noticing that happening, it was a very interesting process to go through. So I
Yeah.
love that you chose this.
It definitely hurts a little, I think, as well. It's Look, I wouldn't be a person either that I could say that I have a lot of close friends. I don't. My closest
Mm,
friend is my mom. She's my number one
mm,
best friend. Someone
mm,
that I can trust unconditionally and know she will be there for me no matter how bad I'm gonna be or how good I'm gonna be. I will not be
yeah,
judged by that.
yeah.
I do have only, I can count on my one hand, in fact, on just a couple of fingers of how many close friends I have that I can really trust and rely
Mm-hmm,
on. It's a very,
mm-hmm,
very small group of people. And then I had some friends that I thought they're so close and that they're everything in my life. And then they turned out to be not them people that I thought they are.
mm-hmm,
Um, so I feel you, Deborah. I really
yeah,
understand. I
yeah,
really
yeah.
do. It's not easy to maintain friendships as an adult. And it's definitely not easy that you think someone is your friend and then you realize they're not as well. Um, no matter how big we are, it still hurts a
Mm-hmm.
little.
It does. It does. And I always say that I was brought up pretty in a protective manner, and you could say pretty naive because the way I grew up, first of all, it was a multicultural space. I had every ethnicity. I had every the LGBT oh my God, LGBTQI plus A, whatever was in my community. So for me, the world was already very diverse.
Mhm.
So I grew up through a lens of trust and also a naivety, because I just thought that the whole world was beautiful and everyone was beautiful, and I'm might not be the best friend, but I am definitely a loyal friend. And I always thought that if I had a friend, we would be friends forever.
Yeah.
But then you grow up and then you learn that that isn't necessarily the case, and that's part of life. So that was
Yeah.
for me was when I first noticed that, it was really a transitional moment for me of how I saw the world and how I looked at friendships and how I looked at myself within friendships, and seeing my own shortcomings as well, because I do have a few shortcomings when it comes to friendships too. When you hear the phrase outgrowing a friendship, what does it mean to you personally?
Well, I had a friendship that did outgrow naturally. I had a very, very close friend of mine, someone that I trust unconditionally. And actually, I still do. Although we're not friends anymore, I trust her more than I
Mm,
would trust any other woman apart from my mother in my life.
mm-hmm,
We were very, very close and we were really good friends for many years. I became an adult woman next to her.
mm-hmm,
She's older than me. She already had a family when I was just in a relationship and growing up and becoming a young adult and then transitioning into a young woman.
yeah,
But the time has come where she was going through changes in her life, family separation and things like this. And I was going through changes in my life as well. I separated with my partner. I started a new relationship. Then I moved to Dublin, while she stayed in a different town. There were just loads of changes happening in both of our lives. And
mm-hmm,
maybe I've done something that maybe didn't align with her. And then she did something that didn't align with me. And we naturally just became distant from each other. After
mm,
I'm talking about 7 or 8 year friendship. It was long
oh,
enough, and she was my closest friend. Like we
mm-hmm,
were like one hand.
mm-hmm.
And it just happened that she stopped calling. I stopped talking with her as much. I noticed that there's this distance growing between us, and the silence, and this you
Mm,
know, ignorance almost. And it was very hard at the beginning because I just moved to Dublin. I also moved away from my family. I was
mm,
feeling very lonely, and I just had a very tough transition. And also losing that friend in that time and seeing that she's starting to take distance from me. And
mhm.
naturally, our relationship evolved to not being close friends anymore. At the
Yeah.
beginning, it was very hurtful and difficult. But then, as an adult, you realize that sometimes some people are just meant to be in your life throughout a certain chapter. And it's
Mhm.
okay to let go. It's okay to let people that you thought once were the closest person in your life to
Yeah.
evolve and also live their life. If they feel like maybe,
Yes.
you are not the person they need in their life, there's no need to hold on to things and even people.
Mhm. Mhm.
It naturally happens and you just have to accept it, be grateful for the relationship you had, and then just let it go. It's not
Yeah.
nice. I wish I never had this experience, but this is
Mhm.
what it means to be an adult. And like you said yourself, we all have our own shortcomings too.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
maybe I wasn't the best friend at some stages, and just maybe didn't realize it, and vice versa. So, look,
Yeah.
life is all about learning and improving, and sometimes letting go of friendship
Yes.
for sure.
Yes, definitely. And it's so funny because I had a similar situation where I moved to Ireland. Like I had a best friend. We knew each other from the moment, I think, from when I was 7, and we grew up together through high school, through, like, I'm the mother of her firstborn, the godmother of her firstborn. We've been through so much together, and she, like, definitely my ride or die. But I moved to Ireland. She was married. She had, her husband and her kids and her life. And in the beginning, the contact was there. But after a while, it just started to water down. We didn't contact each other as much anymore. And I remember, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, I was on a short vacation in Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in my old neighborhood, but she lives in a different country. And who do I run into? I run into her. Like, it was so surreal. And I think we hugged for like 5 minutes because we hadn't seen or spoken with each other for so long. But what I loved about that is that even though there was no contact, when we saw each other, it's like we had just spoken yesterday, even though we needed to catch up on, everything that had happened. There were no bad feelings. There was no, oh, why didn't you call me, or none of that. It's just we saw each other and it was like this tight hug and it felt so good. But it was the same thing. We were friends for over 20, maybe even 25 years. And then
Mm-hmm.
it just, started to water down. And we're still not in contact, but I know that when I see her, it will be the same reaction. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's part of growing up. And that is the one relationship breakup that I really had to get over, and accept the fact that life changes, people change. We'll always have these beautiful memories of growing up, all the crazy stuff with boys that we went through,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
we have those beautiful memories, and that's what I hold on to, when I look back at that relationship. So, was there a moment where it clicked that we're on different paths now? Or was it that it slowly happened and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're on totally different paths?
I think it was a slow kind of um, slow progress, I guess. At the beginning, it just felt like maybe we're just both going through so many changes that we both just need, we barely catch a breath in our own lives.
Mm,
So it was not something that I just one day woke up and like, oh my God, we're actually no longer friends. It was slow little, movement and distance and quietness. First, it was just a couple of weeks in between each talk. Then it was half a month between, a month
yeah.
between us talking, and then suddenly we're not talking anymore. So it kind of hit slowly, slowly, that you
Mm,
start to realize that okay, we're actually no longer friends and you don't think I'm needed in your life, and maybe we just, it's for the best.
yeah.
So, yeah, it was not a sudden
It
change.
was
It was
sudden.
something that was kind of coming, in couple of months and half a year period of time.
Yeah. And how has that loss impacted your life overall?
You know what? I think I am a very strong person overall,
Mm,
and I am able to be my own person. I don't really need validation from another human being to tell me who am I and that I'm good enough.
mm-hmm,
So I always really focused and prioritized my own mental health and my own
mm,
well-being. So
mm-hmm,
having a friend or not having a friend, the only thing it changed is that maybe it's, sometimes you feel a little bit more lonely that you don't have someone close next to you that you can share your life moments with or talk about. But at the
mm-hmm,
same time, I had a partner, and I still do
mm,
have a partner, my fiance. Um, so I never felt alone, or I never felt like, oh my God, I don't have a friend now, this specific friend, and that's it, my life is over, or that,
mm.
I'm not the same person anymore. I don't ever let even my own fiance or anyone in my life to be that big of a person in my life that I lose myself.
Yeah.
So even if everybody would leave me, I would still be
Mm-hmm.
the same Laura. I would be strong and I would be my own biggest supporter. And then
Yeah.
after comes everybody else. So it was very sad and it felt like a big loss for me. But at the same time, it definitely did not have such a massive, huge impact on my life that now I'm no longer happy or I'm no longer the same Laura that I was.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And I think that's very important. There's a very important message that even though we lose people, we cannot lose ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we tend to give people such a big importance in our life, and they do have that. But when we lose that part of our lives, we should always remember that we still have ourselves. And
Exactly.
one thing that I've learned moving to Ireland is that I have two friends who I know that if I'm ever in whatever situation, they will do their best to help me. But I've also learned that I have to rely on myself. Um, because, everyone has their own lives, everyone has their own situations that they're going through. So whether they're in your life or not, it should not make such a huge difference that it puts you in a certain mental state that you feel like you can't go on. So I love your
Yeah.
message of being um strong, because I'm a big advocate of strong women, basically, and
Yeah.
being self-reliant.
Yes, exactly. I think it's very important to have, give the importance to people around you, but the most important relationship we will ever have. I know it will sound, like we heard it so many times, but it's true. The biggest relationship and the most important relationship in life is with ourselves.
Yes.
So I'm always making sure that my relationship with myself is always intact, and
Yes.
then it's everybody else afterwards. Because no matter how much we love people around us, nobody owns us anything. We can
Mm,
have the biggest expectations from our best friends or family. Yes, we would like them to be there for us when we really need it. We would
mm-hmm.
like our family to be there the way we want them to be there for us, or our friends,
Mm,
but they do not own us anything. And once you
exactly.
understand that, then your expectations also lower. And instead of expecting
Mm-hmm.
somebody else to come and show up for you in your life, you're like, okay, well, you have to show up for yourself. And if somebody
Yeah,
else is there to support you and add to that cup of happiness and life and everything else that happens, it's amazing. But if they don't, you're also going to be okay, because you know you can trust yourself first.
exactly. I love
Yeah.
how you're talking about expectations, because one thing I have taught myself is to not have expectations of other people.
Mm,
Because I feel that I cannot expect someone to either be a certain way or behave a certain way because I want them to do that. That doesn't seem fair towards that person, and I would expect the same vice versa. When I've had situations where it was expected of me to behave a certain way or to do a certain something, where I was in a moment where I couldn't do that, and that was held against me. And when that was the first time I realized that I should not have any expectations of other people, because I cannot impose what I want onto them,
yeah.
because it's not fair to them. And it's not fair to myself as well. You have to take care of number one, as how is what they call it. So I love when you spoke about expectations. I expect a lot of myself, yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
of others, I just accept people as they come. And when they show me certain parts of themselves, that's when I decide whether I want to continue with that relationship, yes or no. So that's how I go through life now, basically.
that's
Yeah.
very good. And I think the sooner in life we learn that, the easier it's going to be to live for the rest of our lives.
Yes. Oh my God. I wish I had known that like from a young age, because I think that would have saved me from a lot of, well, not a lot. I
Yeah,
haven't had that much of heartbreak, but it would have saved me from certain
you know,
disappointment.
Deborah, the worst thing, well, I don't know if it's the worst thing, but we go to school. We learn about all the different subjects and geography, maths, biology, everything. But
Mm,
nobody's teaching us how to have a healthy friendship, how to be a good friend, and
yeah.
how to maintain those relationships as you grow. There's no school for
Mhm.
that. There's
No.
nothing, there's not a book, there's nothing we can study or read as kids
Hmm.
and bring it along with us. We only learn through our experiences, through the people that we meet in our lives. And if we
Hmm.
are wise enough, throughout our journey to become an adult, if we do invest the time and energy to educate ourselves,
Mm,
about friendships and things, the relationships, etc. We do not have this information. We do not know
mm,
how to do these things the right way. So
true.
it's only natural that we all go through all these stages in our life and learn and do stupid mistakes and get hurt and get heartbroken. But as long as we know, we take it on board and we actually understand that it's up to
Mm-hmm.
us as well to educate ourselves and learn how to become a good friend, learn how to let people go, learn how not to have high expectations. We just will not know that, you know?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's always just such a learning in life. And, the most important things are not being taught in school.
It's so funny. It's so funny. All the things that you're saying, because I, I 100% agree, which is why I have this idea for it's like coaching for kids, and it
Yeah,
touches on the wheel of life. So it's about relationships, about health, about financial, but bringing that to them while they're still in. Okay, I don't know how the school system here is called, but bef from the age of 12 until like 18, to teach
yeah,
them the basic fundamentals on a simple level, so they have a some type of understanding of what life can look like, and also prepare them for adult life, because I feel like we're not being prepared for adult life. The
no,
emotions and the intense feelings that come with what can happen with life, the disappointments we can get, the challenges we're going to face. This is one of my dreams, to have a foundation that provides this type of service to young kids, that gives them some type of foundation as they grow up in life, so they can be a more stable and well-rounded and knowledgeable young adults, and
yeah.
go through life a bit more with ease and not
It's
struggle too
such an
much.
important. It's amazing. I'm here fully to support you on that, and definitely, I think our system is just outdated and it needs to be
Yeah.
changed. And the more people like you are going to be there to do these things, the better the world will be for sure.
Yeah. I'm getting there, one step at a time. One step at a
One step
time.
at a time.
Yes. Running Renell Renell running Renell
Yeah.
I say it's my menopause brain. Sometimes I flip my words. Um, but running Lerelle Beauty, you meet so many clients and collaborators. So how has entrepreneurship accelerated the friendship evolution process for you? Because when you meet different people along your journey, you create friendships, right? So how
Yeah.
has that changed for you?
Oh, throughout my business journey, I met so many incredible people that are there to help, support, and share their knowledge and wealth of experience they have. I made some amazing friends throughout my journey. I made some professional relationships that will really probably last for a long time. It has evolved incredibly.
Mhm.
Once you kind of change your career. It's like, when you work in the pharmacy industry, you have your friends and connections are probably in the pharmacy industry.
Yeah.
Then when you're a coach yourself, your industry and your kind of circle will be someone that is working in these similar
Yeah.
niches. So when you start a business and you possibly leave your full-time job and your friendships, like the close friends are still there and they will, fingers crossed, will always be there for you and with
Mhm.
you. But you also open up a new circle with new connections and new relationships that are growing and they're being built as you go along with your business, which is
Mhm.
also a very natural thing. And the last year for me, especially even before I left the pharmacy job, was to open up that circle. And this is how I met you, Deborah, as well.
Yeah.
I think it's important in life to put yourself out there to make these new
Mhm.
friendships. Nobody's going to come and knock on your door. Hi, I do this and that. Let's meet. Let's become friends. You have to go out there and meet these new opportunities and welcome these
Mhm.
new connections that you meet along the way. So it has evolved, and I met incredible other professionals, other business owners, and I'm just trying my best to maintain these relationships and also share my wealth of experience that I have with others too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. No, it is very important when you meet like-minded women in these spaces. I also opened up myself more because when I first became a coach, like I was in this room behind the laptop,
Mm,
and that was all I
okay.
was doing. And at one point, I was like, my God, Deborah, no, you need to like get out there and meet people and talk to people. And once I started doing that, I got so inspired um, because I've met so many wonderful, wonderful women with so much knowledge. And last week I was at an event. It's called Tech Founder, and these are women in tech who have brilliant ideas because the tech space is kind of like the male space.
Yeah.
Um, but they have all these wonderful ideas, and it's just women supporting women. Um, and I've had the relationships that I've made from that, from those if those types of events have really, I have to say, enriched my life and have given me so much to think about, actually given me ideas for my business as well.
Yeah.
So it's very important to get out there, get yourself seen. Luckily I'm someone who will just step into a group and start talking, you know.
Yes, and that's amazing. That really helps you in life to be this way.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if
it
you're
really.
not, it's also something you can learn. I was never
Yes.
a very outgoing person myself. In school, I was a shy kid. I would say I would never be the first one to make new friends or go out and,
Mm,
never was an attention seeker or just an active and very outspoken human being overall.
mhm,
But I evolved and I changed as I progressed in my career. Even as a pharmacy manager, I had to learn these skills and I had
mhm,
to bring myself out of that shell to become
mhm.
more outspoken and more open to new connections. So, if anybody that is going to listen to our podcast and they're like, oh, but I'm not this person at all, like I wouldn't just be able to come up to someone new and just have a conversation, a good thing is that you can learn those things. You do not need to
Yes.
be one, you can become one.
Mhm.
So this is something that I can share from my own natural, like my own experience in life, that I was never this confident girl. I became
Yeah.
one over the
Yeah.
years and by choosing to go out of my comfort zone, not by staying in it.
Yes. And it's a choice. It really is a choice. And it can be a difficult choice.
Yeah.
And I always say that, I had this video up on, I think, Instagram saying that confidence is a scam. And what I mean by that is that confidence isn't something, people think that confidence is that, you just go about it and you're bold and you're just gonna, push forward. And for me, what confidence is that, even when you're in a situation and you feel anxious or nervous, or you don't know how to approach someone or something, that you make that decision to do it anyway. To me,
Yeah.
that is what confidence is that, because even the biggest stars get nervous, even the big, like, one example I use is Barbara Streisand. She is a phenomenal singer, but she has stage fright. That's why she doesn't perform as much. And for us, for me, I would think if I had a voice like that, I'd be on every single stage. But it makes sense because, not even though you have the capability, there is a certain fear within you. And some
Yeah.
people know how to work with that and still do what they want to do. And she made the decision that she chooses when to perform, and she just minimizes her exposure to that so that she doesn't have to be confronted with that stage fright.
Yes.
But to me, that's what confidence is: feeling the fear and doing it anyway, basically.
Exactly. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to grief. because when I
Mhm.
lost one important friend of mine, I chose to grieve, because I felt that, it was normal, because I think when you lose a friend, you don't think about grief and bereavement because it's just a friend. You think when you grieve, you actually have to physically lose someone as they transition to another world, but you can grieve the loss of a friend as well. So what emotions surprised you the most during this friendship breakup?
Mm, Not having, I think, that friend that you was always talking every single day and talking
Mm,
about everything, like from what you eat for breakfast to, what time you're going to the shower, basically. I
yeah.
think that void was one of the emotion that I felt. I felt like something
Mm-hmm.
big is missing because I
Mm-hmm.
had that regular conversation and a phone call, and we've been always kind of updating each other. We knew everything about each other's lives. Like there was not even one
Mm-hmm.
secret we would keep. At least I thought, we were
Yeah.
very, very open with each other. Then the second emotion, I think you kind of feel the rejection as well in a way.
Mm,
And that's something also that needs to be admitted, that when someone suddenly or slowly starts to, maybe disconnect with you and not be as active with you, or when you know that they could have contact with you, they didn't, you feel rejected. And this is also a very
mm-hmm.
natural feeling to feel. And I definitely felt that as well, a little bit. Yeah, and I think these were the two main emotions through the grief, is the rejection and the void that this person has left. And that it
Yeah.
does naturally take a little bit of time to fill in that void and to kind of reprogram in your head that, okay, well, this was how it was, but now it's going to be slightly different. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, because I think I'm quite emotionally stable and strong human being myself, I
Mm-hmm.
was able to pull through that without like enormous kind of grief,
Yeah.
without. I lost my dad when I was 16. I
Yeah.
cannot compare that with anything else that comes my way. I can deal with it. If I survived that
Mm-hmm.
kind of a
Yeah.
loss, if me and my mom and my family went through that and we became stronger and tougher and wiser, I mean, there's nothing else that scares me. So I think in my case, I had that experience and toughness in me to go
Yeah.
through. And I will, like in life, there's going to be probably many more situations where I will be rejected or someone will decide to go from my life. But because I'm strong enough and I know I can do this, I did it once before or twice
Mm-hmm.
before, I will survive. So yeah,
Yeah.
the grief can be hard, but it's also how much you are actually putting yourself in that victim's position too. And how
True.
much you feel sorry for yourself is going to be a big change in your
True. Yeah. This is, I love this conversation because we have a lot of things in common in the way we
life.
think and what we've been through, because I was exactly the same. Like when I noticed that this friend was like, okay, she didn't want anything to do with me anymore, I had two decisions to make. One, I could confront her and be like, what's going on? We're not calling. It's weird. Or I could just let it go. And I really sat with it for like a day because I don't like to drag things on for too long. I sat with it and I thought to myself, because what I tell my friends, I always tell my friends, if I do or say something that you didn't like or make you feel a certain way, you have to tell me, because I am very vocal of how I feel. And it's not that I don't have a filter, but I can't, if you ask me something, I will give you an answer. I don't go through a process of thinking unless I have to think about a certain answer, but I'm just very, it just comes out. So I always say, if I do or say something, and they say it's the Dutch in me because I'm very forward, just tell me so that I can know and I can self-reflect and I can change whatever it was. But if you don't tell me, then I don't know. So I also had to
Yeah.
go through the rejection phase. But when you talked about losing your father, I lost my father in 2019, and then I lost my grandfather, who actually raised me in 2020. So not when that happened, after that, when certain situations happen in my life, I literally think I went through that and I'm still here. So whatever life throws at me, I will be fine because yes,
Yeah.
I still feel the effects of the loss. Also because I'm perimenopausal and I am so emotional. It's not even it's not funny. The other day I was watching a tribute video of an artist, a young artist. He was 27 and he chose to transition himself. And it was someone that I really liked. And his friends, and his sister made a tribute song and video. And I watched it. My God, I was crying so hard. And also because it brought me back to the time of my father and my grandfather.
Yeah.
So it was just, and I'm just even
You know,
yesterday I was crying
I don't
watching
think
it.
it's menopause. I don't think it's anything to do with menopause. It's just once you go through that certain pain, you
Mm,
know how painful it is, and
mm,
naturally you live through that moment over and over again. And it's something that doesn't ever really fully leave you, you know?
no,
So
no.
I think it's very natural. Don't blame it on yourself. Don't be
Yes,
so hard on yourself. If sometimes we need to cry, and sometimes certain topics are just more sensitive to us than others,
yes,
you know?
yes, for sure. The next question. So one of our listeners might be in the same situation where they are drifting away from their best friend. What's one step that they can take today that would make the situation bearable, more bearable for them?
First of all, I think educate yourself to, and I use podcasts, I use books to help me in life and help me through the tough times.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that help me is I read a lot of books, and through books I get a lot of wisdom and skills to cope with,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the situation is. So number one, I would say, is look for books that help with these type of situations. Bex King is amazing author. I read all of his books. There's a lot of podcasts as well out there that can help you. These were the two coping mechanisms that really helped me as an adult, going through certain relationship changes or letting go of a friend or a partner, whatever that was. Um, and then number two is don't close yourself and go out there and meet other people. If you feel like this is an important part of your life and you do not want to feel lonely,
Mm-hmm.
open yourself to opportunities to meet other people so that you don't just rely in life to that one human being there for you when you need them. And number three would be, like I mentioned before, you are your biggest support and friend. And then
Mm-hmm.
comes everybody else. So make sure that you're strong enough, mentally and physically to be your own best friend before anybody else comes to your life. So
Mm-hmm.
education, your own empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
and also being open to letting new people in your life to
Yeah.
fill that void.
Yeah. I love that. Be your own best friend. Yeah.
Yes,
I love that.
definitely.
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay,
Deborah.
so no, you're welcome. You're welcome. I love this. I think I honestly think that this is a big topic, and I really feel that this is going to help a lot of people who are, transitioning within relationships and also finding themselves within relationships, because that's also very important. Um,
It's important not to lose yourself within those relationships. That's what's
yeah,
important. Not to
yes,
get other people influence. Probably my face is all stripy, isn't it? I'm so sorry
yes,
about
it
that.
is.
It's from the trees because I live in a very it's all the trees and the sun is shining through. So
Yeah,
I apologize, but you already seen the full figure of me
yes, yes.
before. But yeah, like I think the most important thing is also not to lose yourself, whether it's
Yeah.
a friendship or it's a partnership with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever let another person change or make you be the person you don't like anymore about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm.
this is definitely
Yes, I love that. I love that.
important.
Okay, so in your opinion, when does it make sense to fight for a friendship versus blessing it and releasing it? So when do you fight and when do you let go?
I don't know if I'm the right person to answer because I don't think you should fight for a friendship.
Mm,
If
mm,
you have to fight for something, like a friendship or a partnership, depends
mm-hmm,
what kind of fight it is. If someone is naturally going away from you or they're changing, their life has changed and they naturally think maybe you're not that part of the life they want to live now, I don't
mm-hmm,
think you should fight for someone that wants to go.
mm-hmm,
Number one,
mm-hmm,
you shouldn't. We all are here with our free will. We should
mm-hmm.
be in friendships and relationships in free will
Yeah,
because we want it, because this is something that we want truly from deep inside our heart. So I'm not an advocate of fighting for something that is maybe not worth keeping
yeah,
in the first place. If that person needs to be fighted for, well, maybe this is not your person.
yeah,
That's my
yeah.
opinion. I never
True,
fight in relationships.
true. I
I
used to.
disagree.
I used to, and when I say fight, I mean, talk through difficult conversations. And what I've learned is that communication is so important in any relationship because if there's no communication, there will be no understanding. And if there's no understanding, from that comes misunderstandings, and then, that's when certain relationships kind of drift apart because one person assumes one thing and the other person assumes one thing and they're not
Yeah.
communicating. And then it's just a whole
Well,
bunch
yeah,
of assumptions.
I think it depends whether when we're saying fighting for, is it that maybe we had a disagreement and that's why we're slowly shifting away from each other?
Mm,
Or is it, I think then in that case, if it's a disagreement and misunderstanding, then definitely you need to communicate and try to fight for it because it's not worth losing something good over misunderstanding. But if it's the
mm-hmm.
case, like in my case, my friendship just, we both drifted away from each other. We were just not
Mm-hmm.
there for each other anymore. Um, then maybe you don't need to fight in that case. Maybe that's the way it
Yeah.
has to be. But if my relationship would have been in a situation like this because we had a disagreement or misunderstanding or we had a fight, let's say, and
Mm-hmm.
then definitely you need to try to work it out and
Yeah.
find a resolution. So I think it really depends on what stage your relationship is. Like even with my partner, we had moments with my fiance where we both disagreed and we could have ended up losing our relationship, and we did decide fight for it because we knew the disagreements we have is because of miscommunication and lack of understanding of each other. That's a different
Mm,
scenario. But if my
yeah.
partner would have told me that, sorry, but I don't want to be with you anymore, or, I don't think we're a good fit
Yeah.
for each other, then I would not fight for a relationship, whether it's
Mm,
partnership or because it's friendship.
yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
different reasons.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
this saying, I think it's something along the lines of go where you're celebrated. I'm gonna look up that saying.
It sounds about right. It sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, don't go where you're not wanted, go where you're celebrated. Something along those lines. I'm going to look it up. Which is true. Like if you don't want to be in a space or in a relationship where the other person doesn't want to be in it,
Yeah.
um, that's not a nice place to be in. So yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so in this whole process, what strengths did you discover in yourself after letting go of certain friendships?
Mm, well, the biggest strength is that once you know who you are, once you trust yourself,
Mm,
and you do not seek validation from other people,
mm-hmm.
you're good. So my
Mhm,
my biggest strength is that I think in me is that I don't seek validation. Like nobody can. If somebody tells me I'm not good enough, that's fine. I'm not gonna
Mm,
not good enough for you, and that's absolutely fine. You go live your life, I go live mine.
mm,
And if somebody decides that they do not want me in my life, they don't want me in their life, I'm
mm-hmm,
also fine with that because I am like, I don't want to be in your life if you don't want me in your life?
mm,
So, me, myself, and I, this is my strongest trait.
yeah.
That
Nice.
no matter what you do in your life, I'll be fine in mine, whatever decision you're gonna make. So,
Okay.
trust in yourself.
And how does this new, I want to say new strength, but how does this strength show up in your leadership, in your business?
Oh, this is a very good because I think it shows up as confidence, you
Mm,
know. Um, Also, I think in business as well, like you need to know your strengths as a business too. Like, what can you put
mm-hmm,
on the table that somebody else can't?
mm-hmm,
And then that strength that I have is that if you don't believe in me, I'm going to be okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna find someone that will believe in me? So this is
mm-hmm,
the way it helps me. If one door closes in front of me, I'm gonna knock on the other.
yeah,
And I'm just gonna continue doing my thing because I believe in myself. And not
yeah,
because you don't want my product or my business. It's not gonna put me down or put my business down because of you. I'm doing it
yeah,
because of me and because I believe in it.
yeah,
So again, this is how I think this kind of a trait helps me in every way in life.
yeah.
It really does. And in business as well.
I love that because I also had to adopt this type of mindset in coaching that, if when I offer my services and someone says no, that was okay because it means they were not ready. Um, they were not ready and that it has nothing to do with me and my coaching skills. And this is thankfully something that I learned during the coaching training because when you get rejected and and I'm very eager on helping people and they're like no and I'm like but I really had to learn that it was not their time for me to
Yes,
help
totally.
them. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not necessary. I think when you are also not a very confident person, and I've been there myself. I'm not definitely there are times sometimes when I question myself a little bit.
Mm,
But most of the time, when a rejection happens in business or in your coaching or whatever that is, it not necessarily means it's you. It's just the
mm,
person is living a different stage of life at the
yes,
moment. They might not necessarily need it. They might not be able to afford your services. There's a lot of reasons why. So
exactly,
definitely, it's a good trait to have, just like you do, that you don't accept it personally because it might be 1 million other reasons why somebody can't
exactly.
do something. So, yeah, just to be open minded and not to be that stuck on the fact that if someone rejects you or says something negative, it's all about you. It's not.
Yeah. It's
90%
like,
of
oh my
time, it's
God, I'm
nothing to
horrible.
do.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Love that. Yes. Okay, so now we're coming towards the end of this podcast, and I have
I could
two
talk and
last
talk.
questions. I know. Please, me too. But we have to wrap it up at some point. So, I have two questions for you. So, if because I explained to you, the face her concept. So, if facing her means meeting the woman you're becoming with open eyes, what part of her are you most excited to meet next?
Hmm. Resilient, Laura. I'm excited to meet next.
Yeah.
Yes, because growing business, and I'm really looking to see where I'm going to be like 1 year from here. I
Mm,
know I'm strong, I know I'm capable, but I also know how challenging the journey or the path I have chosen it is, and
mm,
how much energy and effort I will need to put in this. So I'm really looking forward to see the resilience in me
mm,
and to keep believing in myself even when the things are not going out, not working out as great. So
mm-hmm.
I'm really hoping to meet that strong Laura and resilient Laura after a year or two and to just give her a pat at the back. Laura, you got this.
Yes.
Like you fucking did this?
Yes. And I totally see it. I totally believe in you because I've seen, from the moment I met you to where you are now, I have seen the growth, and I can see you doing amazing things. And you were talking about resilience, and it brought me back to a moment when I met Mr. Stephen Bartlett at the company I work for. And I asked him, what is the most important characteristic a new entrepreneur should have? And he said resilience, because you will,
Oh,
yeah, he said you will, people will tell you no, doors will be closed, you'll have moments where you question yourself and why you're doing it. But he said those are those times where you have to like keep going and believing in what you're doing and why you're doing it. So he said resilience. So when you said that, like, and I always remember his words, which is also why I'm still here. I'm like, I'm pushing through and making sure that whatever happens, I bounce back from that. So I'm
I
looking forward to
love
meeting.
it. And I
Yeah,
love Stephen Bartlett as well. I've read two books that he has written, and they were one of
yeah,
the best books I have definitely read in my entire life.
yeah.
And he's damn right. And I'm so damn proud of you as well. And I'm proud of me because to build something and be brave enough to go on your own and do your thing and believe in yourself is
Mm-hmm.
so damn amazing. And to
Yeah.
stay resilient and to stay committed and to stay with your path of that you believe in is
Mm-hmm.
very hard. And if you get
Yes.
through that, you are a very strong human being.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So
I
that's what
believe
I'm
that too.
wishing for both of us when we talk 1 year from here.
Yes. Listen, 1 year from now, we'll be back on this, because this podcast will be bigger than it is now, and then I will have
Yeah.
you back on it. Yes.
Then we can
I'm
catch up
putting
how
it
life
out.
changed in 1 year. We're putting it out,
Yes.
manifesting. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so last question.
Mm-hmm.
What's one courageous question you hope every listener asks herself before the week is out? So before, because today is Wednesday. So what is one courageous question you want the listeners to ask themselves?
Mm. Oh, are you okay mentally? Are you in a
Mm,
good headspace? Do you feel strong enough?
mm,
Are you happy?
mm,
Everything, no matter what you do in life, no matter who you have in life, no matter how much money you have, are
mm,
you okay in here? And if you're
mhm,
not, how can you make sure you are?
mm,
You can have the best business, you can have the best partner, you can be the most beautiful human being on the planet. Not that I know how it feels, but
Oh, please.
none of us probably could be the best looking human beings on the planet. But no matter what you have in life or how much you have accomplished, if you are
Mhm,
not happy and not in, you know, in good shape mentally, then nothing else matters.
yeah.
So, one question I would get every listener to ask is, are you okay? And if you're
Mm,
not okay, what can you do or who can you ask for help to put yourself in that space mentally that you feel like nothing can break you and you're strong enough and you got this? Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Are you okay?
Are you
Um,
okay? And if not, how
yeah.
can you be okay?
And how can you be okay? I
Yeah.
love that question. Oh my God. Okay, Laura, thank you so much for this very insightful and inspirational conversation, answering my questions about friendships, because I know it's not easy. Do you have any last words that you want to say? Something
Oh,
about your business? Is there, because I know you're in the RDS. Is there any big thing happening? Like,
well, first of all, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, and I'm very proud of this. I'm very happy you're doing your podcast, and I cannot see it happening. And I wish you the most best of luck that is possible to achieve within this type of work or any business you start or any work you're going to do. I absolutely love podcasts. I listen to podcasts myself. So I'm really wishing you a huge success with that. When
Thank
it
you.
comes to my business, I'm planning so many exciting things. But I'm also being very careful how much information I put out there because I
Mm,
think some things you need to do in quiet and then show the
yes.
results. Not
Yes.
necessarily everything requires to be known by every single human being, but some little plans that I can share with regards my business is that we want to be in as many places as possible. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to be in more exhibitions in the coming year. We're also planning to be in shopping centers, doing more pop-ups, meeting more people in person, and just making Lerelle Beauty really a brand that everyone has heard about, you know? So
Yeah.
these are my biggest goals. And throughout all of this, my biggest goal is to enjoy every moment and to really, when people actually, I got this question asked recently. I did an interview for Top Entrepreneur of 2025, and they asked me, what does success mean to you?
Mm,
So, and I actually sat down and I was thinking for a moment, and it did not take a very long time to understand that success for me is not a number in my bank account.
mm-hmm.
It's not even a number of sales I have to make.
Mm-hmm.
Success for me is doing what I love, feeling grateful and feeling happy every day
Mm-hmm.
without waiting for something exciting to happen in your life. You know, not looking towards to what's going to happen 1 year after or few months after, but actually being present in the moment and feeling
Yeah.
happy with what you do and that feeling of that you're doing the thing that you want to do in your life. So
Yeah.
this is what success means for me, and this is what I wish to every single human being that is going to
Yes.
listen to this podcast and yourself.
Thank you so much. That is a beautiful message and a beautiful way to end this podcast. I will definitely promote your products because I do use them. I don't use them every night, but I do use them.
Oh,
So, thank you so much, and I also wish you all the best with Laurel Beauty and all the endeavors that that you go upon, and um, I see great things for you. I do.
likewise, likewise, my dear. Thank you so much. It has been an
Thank you.
absolute pleasure.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Thank you.